EA Sports calling it Rankings Week as they release various rankings for its college football video game, and the first installation, dubbed Toughest Places to Play, was shockingly not well received by the college football public. This is a good time to remind you that fan is short for fanatic. Either way, Kyle Field taking the top spot, followed by Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, and Georgia's Sanford Stadium. Let's bring in Bud Elliott, 1/4 of the Cover 3 podcast and 24/7 Sports national college football writer. Bud, I know that you've been in on the debate on Twitter, on X, whatever you want to call it. So just first thoughts on the toughest places to play. What do you think of EA Sports' interpretation?
I think EA Sports marketing team is genius for putting this out because you knew it was going to have folks mad online, and indeed they were. I did have some problems with it for sure. I don't know that EA did a great job of separating teams that are hard to play at home because they have a ton of talent. Hello, Alabama. Hello, Ohio State. Versus places that actually make a team, play much better at home, like a Utah, like a Wyoming, like a Florida Gators, right? So I worked on mine a little bit. I had Florida much higher. I had them, I think, like second or third on the list. I'm a little surprised they didn't have Tiger Stadium, Death Valley, LSU at number 1. I get the Kyle Field top 10 love. To me, there's probably 16 or 17 places that are really, really hard to play at when a team is good. It is hard to rank order them. I think they could have done a little bit better, though.
Yeah, it's tough. You look at home win percentage. Obviously, Alabama's going to be fantastic, but you can also make the argument that at one point in their recent past, they had to incentivize students just to stay for the entire game. So it depends on what kind of system that they're working with. But ultimately, this is all about impact on the video game, not necessarily the most fun venue. So where will this rankings show up when we get to play this video game?
So when I got to play the video game about a month ago now, because I live here in Orlando, so EA invited me over for the preview day, it is noticeable if you are playing with a talented but inexperienced player, maybe a player who doesn't have a lot of experience or awareness, especially at quarterback, he might have a little shakiness of the controller, maybe a little extra vibration. Maybe not all the routes will show up. Maybe you call for that hot route. Maybe you say it. Maybe the receiver, maybe he's a freshman or something, low awareness score. Maybe he doesn't hear it. So EA really tried to endeavor to make experience and maturity of players matter an awful lot in this game. And so if you go play in a hard environment, just like in real life, you're not going to take a bunch of freshmen, even if they run real fast, into a Death Valley, into the swamp, and come out feeling pretty good. That's the same experience you're going to get in the game.
Sorry, but that is so cool. It is so similar to what the actual real-life college football game is. It's just amazing that they've gone through this much detail to make sure that it's as real life as possible. They're calling this Rankings Week, so that was not the only rankings that they put out. Today, releasing the top offenses and top defenses, and once again, causing quite the storm online. Top offense, let's start there. It is Georgia. Not sure if there's much debate with there, but where do you have issues with this overall top offenses list?
So before I launch into this diatribe, I want to say, just as you will, I'm going to play the heck out of this thing. It's going to be awesome. I already have played it. I love it. But they are pretty lucky they get to do 2 or 3 rankings updates because they're going to need them. I don't have any problem with Georgia at 1. Obviously, Oregon at 2 makes a heck of a lot of sense. NC State at 16th? Y'all, just getting from 100th to 40th would be good. Colorado at 8? Shador's good. Travis Hunter, when he plays offense, is good. A couple of other receivers are good. The offensive linemen are still really not good. And the tight ends are non-existent. And the backs are nothing special. If you want to slip Colorado in at 25th or something, I get it. But from an efficiency standpoint, they were terrible last year. That was just a high volume, very low efficiency offense. Mike Gundy's Oklahoma State Cowboys, they're not ranked. Every single person on that offense returns. What are we doing here? Tennessee's not ranked. Tennessee, I love their receivers. Nico's a prodigy. If the offensive line stays healthy, are we pre-assuming injuries here in this ballgame? So to me, those were pretty egregious. Utah, did Cam Rising just get a skill transplant as well in addition to winning the year he took off? I don't know. I'm still going to play this like crazy, but I kind of wish EA ran a sports book because we would be able to retire and off betting these things. Whew.
Well, you did give them the benefit of the doubt by mentioning that there are ratings updates. So what it is right now in July when the video game is officially released is not necessarily what it's going to look like at the end of the year. So that takes me to the defensive side of the ball, Ohio State taking the top spot there. When they do these ratings, where do you think they're going to have to make the biggest adjustments once they watch these teams play this fall?
I kind of think EA has access to a transfer portal that I don't know about because they have USC's defense 16th. Like, yes, they have improved coaching. Getting rid of Grinch is probably a good move. They stole UCLA's defensive coordinator, D'Anton Lynn, but they also failed to bring in any impact bodies on the defensive interior. I'm very, very skeptical that USC is going to go from like 104th in my ratings to 16th overall in defense. Colorado shooting up to a top 20 in defense. I have them improved. I don't have them improving into the top 20. Like, what are we doing? And then on the flip side, Nebraska unranked. Like, every single team that they have, like Colorado, USC, Carolina, Florida, Oklahoma State, they would trade defenses with Nebraska in an instant. Iowa has the oldest defense they've ever had, like BYU level old, and they're not top 10? Like, what are we doing? Like, you guys don't think Iowa's going to be a top 10 defense when everybody's old enough to rent a car? A lot of changes here. Ole Miss doesn't have a top 25 defense according to EA. Like, Ole Miss broke the bank in the transfer portal. We don't think that's going to work. Tennessee's defense not rated. I don't know. I have some thoughts. Well, I guess I just said the thoughts.
You have some thoughts.
This is what,
no, we appreciate you
LSU
giving us some thoughts.
Defense.
LSU, what are they?
LSU 18th in defense. Like the team that missed everybody they wanted in the transfer portal is all of a sudden 18th. Cool. All right.
I like the positivity with both USC and LSU. I know that was a big point of contention in the offseason to try to upgrade those defenses. And according to EA Sports, job well done. We'll see what happens this fall. But just real quick, let's end on a high note. It's fun to have these debates, especially in the month of June when we're dying for some sort of content. But overall, you played this video game. You've studied everything that's gone into it. What did EA Sports get right with College Football 25?
I mean, I thought they get so much right, and they should because they've had about a decade to work on it. They really went with the mantra that everybody's favorite or everybody's team is someone's favorite, right? I just botched that. Every team is someone's favorite team, and they really took the time to work with each school to make sure that school's traditions, as best they could. Like, obviously, some songs are copyrighted that you can't get in there, but for the most part, they really got each school's traditions. They got the colors right. Like they got the right song you play after a certain thing happens. I think the inflection points in the game make a whole lot of sense. They also have 134 different playbooks. And yeah, I think they're like kind of just maybe 10 or 12 unique ones that they tweaked somewhat, but that is actually how things work in real life too. I mean, there's only so many trains of thought to have here for playbooks. But I just think the customization for each school is really unique.
All around, it just sounds like a college football fan's absolute dream. I'm excited to get my hands on it. Jealous that you've already played a little bit, but I'm sure that it's going to be a pretty fun month, and we appreciate you coming on and telling us all about it. You can hear more of Bud's thoughts on the Cover 3 podcast. Definitely be sure to listen to his summer school series where he does an in-depth breakdown of nearly every major program from across the country. You can listen to the Cover 3 podcast wherever you get your podcast.